nourishment. And you know it's in our cells now. It's literally in our cells. And what a wonderful conduit you all are. I so appreciate it. I think music can say it even deeper than just words. So maybe you guys should just come back up and sing the rest of the time. So it is wonderful to be back. Just wonderful. You know, Unity has been a part of my life since I was a little girl. It's moving in and out of my life. And so today feels like a homecoming for me. And my heart just woke up this morning, just as big as the universe. So thank you for this opportunity to come and share with you today. I come with a radical change in perception. An invitation to show up for all of life. And that radical shift is, what would it be like if we knew that the challenges of our life are for us? You know what I mean. That health challenge that could go all the way from eating too much pizza and you have an acid tummy to a stage 4 diagnosis of cancer. The relationship challenges, the financial challenges, the foreclosure challenges, the boss challenges, the next door neighbor challenges, the pet challenges. What would happen if we saw that these challenges are not here because we've done something wrong? Or God fell asleep on the job? Or it's karmic retribution for something you did in a past life? What would it be like if we were willing to open to these challenges? To recognize that in every single challenge of our life, there is a treasure. I mean, the myths of the world have been trying to tell us that for eons. You know, if you're off to get the princess or the holy grail or the magic wand, then not just sitting down by the side of the road. You know, you have to go get a couple of hairs from the tail of the nasty boar that lives, you know, in the mountain in an impossible cave to get into. And then you've got to take it to the Wicked Witch of the West and she has to make a brew or whatever. It's trying to tell us that maybe, just maybe, there are treasures in the dark. Where did I find the light? In the dark. You have to fall in order to stand. You know, the yin and yang symbol has been also trying to tell us. You know, we all took on this frontal lobe, which is actually a very new creation in universal time. And the dark and the light aren't on opposite sides of a line. The dark and the light are nestled together. And in the dark is a point of light. And in the light is a point of dark. And we have spent most of our life trying to get to the good stuff and leave the so-called bad stuff behind. Has this ever brought you the peace you longed for? Does this look comfortable living this way? I'm getting a crick in my neck. Now feel this. That's the yin and yang. That's the rediscovery that life is smarter than us, that every single atom has a positive and negative charge. And each one of us took on our measure of challenges in our life, not because God is punishing us, but because the treasures are oftentimes hidden in the dark. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, some of you may not know who she is, the real pioneer in death and dying, and she was one of the teachers of my main teacher, a man called Stephen Levine, who wrote many, many books on death and dying, but really wrote about how to be fully alive. And this is what Elizabeth said. The most beautiful people we have known are those who have known defeat, who have known suffering, have known struggle, have known loss, and have found their way out of the depths. These persons have an appreciation, a sensitivity, an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep, loving concern. Beautiful people do not just happen. Or as Stephen would say, may you be so lucky to have your heart torn wide open. And it is in the challenges, just like a baby is born through contractions. You know, there isn't a crowbar down there that's pulling the cervix open. It's contractions that allow the cervix to begin to relax more. And it's the same thing in our life. The contractions are here to birth us more deeply into ourselves. So how I describe this in my new book, What's in the Way is the Way, is with a meadow metaphor. And I just love this metaphor. And of course, you know, I used to do a lot of backpacking up at Mount Rainier, so my meadow is up in Mount Rainier. So just imagine the most beautiful meadow that your mind can create. And oh my God, babbling brooks and, you know, marmots and little cute little wildflowers, and of course Mount Rainier there in all of its glory. The meadow represents life. Everything flows in that meadow. Day flows into night, winter into spring. Light flows, sound flows, water flows. And there's nothing in that meadow that resists life. The fir tree doesn't wish it was a maple tree. The marmot mama does not keep her babies down in their little den all the time because she's afraid a hawk will come. And yes, in that meadow, there is death. There is loss. There is change. There's wild winter storms. But it is all a part of the flow of life. And you and I were born from that meadow, and you and I lived in that meadow when we were very, very young. You know, I know it's maybe hard to imagine, but there was a time there was no thoughts in your head. And now Deepak Chopra says we have 65,000 thoughts a day, and 95% of them are repeats from the day before. It makes me tired whenever I think about that. So we lived in that meadow, but most of us were raised by what I call unconscious giants. They literally were much, much bigger than us. And they had left themselves a long time ago. So they didn't know how to really connect with us. And they gave us two core rules, even in loving families: invasion and abandonment. So as we take on this, what I call the storyteller in this new book, or you could also call it the self-image, and the key word there is image. You know, if you saw a picture of a friend of yours, would you mistake that for your friend? It's an image. And we all crawled into this self-image. And I like what the great Zen philosopher Alan Watts once said: no matter how many times you say the word water, it will never be wet. So what began to happen is the clouds that used to pass through the sky, they began to lower and lower, and pretty soon they were whirling and swirling around us. And I call this the cloud bank of struggle. And if you have a little door on your forehead and you could open it up, you'll see it's made out of fear. And most of the fear is just, you know, you don't like what your hair looks like today, or the length of the stoplight. But as we all know, especially in the middle of the night, this fear can just rise up to gigantic proportions. And this cloud bank is glued together with judgment. This is good. That is bad. This is right. That is wrong. The color of my skin is better than the color of your skin. My religion is better than yours. Oh my God. We're very young as a species, and I think most of us are still children. So we crawled into this cloud bank. The key is you've never left the meadow. Just take that in for a moment. You just think you have. You, like I, like most people, were trained to identify with this cloud bank of struggle. And if you watch it very carefully, you'll see it always wants what is not here, and it doesn't want what is here. Does that sound familiar? So there is a further articulation of the meadow story that came after I wrote the book, and I think you'll really enjoy this. So you come to this meadow, and you see this cloud bank careening around the meadow. You can see 2 feet in the bottom, and you can see 2 hands that stick out the side. And in one hand is a butterfly net, because we're taught that if you just get it together, if you just catch the right amount of exotic butterflies, or if you lose the weight, or if you get your mate to stop squeezing the toothpaste tube from the middle, for heaven's sakes, you know, or you win the lottery, or whatever. Oh, you get enlightened. And the sad thing is, every once in a while, you can catch a butterfly and you think, "Ah, damn, I've done it." Does it last? No, because it's all happening up here. Well, on the other hand, is a fly swatter. Because you got to get to what you think will make you happy. But you also got to get rid of all those pesky flies, you know, that difficult boss, or, you know, the acid tummy, or whatever. You don't owe that feeling that you're not enough. Core feeling in so many human beings. The feeling that you're all alone. One of the greatest, I call them spells in the new book. Spells, I love the word spell. Spell is something that's laid over the top of you because we absorb this from our parents, they absorbed it from their parents. It's not true, and it can be lifted. And the first spell is, I'm separate from life. Life is not safe. And then there's 3 operating spells, and then there's 3 hidden spells. And if you're not interested in getting the book, just put your name on the email list and I'll send you out the list of spells. My groups, we spent time over a year because there's 8 core spells. And you can say each of the spells differently. And I invited people when I got it all together to just check off, you know, each of the ways that most everybody checked off everything. Because this is a very busy little sucker up here. And it's made out of fear. And it's glued together with judgment. Now, if you were an alien and you landed beside this meadow and you saw this cloud bank careening around, you would think, oh my God, what land have I landed in? And yet, if you watch the evening news, you'll see that's what's happening. Most people are moved by fear and moved by judgment, and they're cut off from the aliveness, from the joy, because they don't understand that the good stuff, the doorway to freedom, is in what we have turned away from in our lives. Agnes Whislingham, the Manitoba Indian medicine woman. If you look at something carefully, you will always be able to see its dark side. One cannot exist without the other. And yet, we choose never to look into the shadows. Understand that it's what you choose not to observe in your life that controls your life. Everything begins with a circle of motion. Without the positive and negative poles, there would be no movement. There would be no creation. Without your dark side, your beauty would not exist. Don't be afraid to look at both sides. You need them both. Honor all as a part of the Great Spirit. So how do we begin to turn and look, I call it look to a hook, from all this stuff that we have run away from? And it's like trying to run away from a bear in the woods. What happens? It runs after you. You know, in my book, The Gift of Our Compulsions, I talk about my journey with overeating. And by God, I did everything, including, I went a month without food once, because I'm a Taurus, you know. Boy, I can really control things, and that's the illusion of the cloud bank. You can control things. Of course, as soon as I started eating, I ate, you know, the kitchen sink, the refrigerator, the cupboards, you know, so on and so forth. And I once gained 97 pounds in a year. And now I'm very normal around food because I discovered that there was nothing to fix, nothing to change, nothing to get rid of. If you try to get rid of your compulsions, the U.S. Surgeon General's report is 98% of every pound that is lost in America is gained back, plus some within a year and a half. That's why I'm talking about this being revolutionary. We're learning how to not fight, to not try to control. We're learning how to be curious about what we've run away from. And that's why I wrote the new book, so we could learn that in a very safe way. So we can set free inside of us all of the bound up energy that we took on when we were young. The way I describe this is in the room of 1,000 doors. And just imagine you're locked in a room, because most people are locked in their mind. And there's 1,000 doors to get out of this room. And you have tried 999 of them at least 1,000 times each. Right? I mean, I did. I tried hypnosis. I tried, you know, shots, I tried drugs, I tried starvation, I tried whatever. And then life said, get curious. Before you get curious, when you try one of those doors, it's either locked or it opens to a brick wall. Or it opens and you walk out of that room and into the same room. Now, there is a little tiny door over there in the corner. And you have decided that that's the door to hell, because it's got a word written on the front of it. And you can see H-E, okay? So you know that's, and so you're going to try absolutely everything to not have to go into that door. So one day, after trying 990 doors at least 1,000 times a piece, you think, God, hell's got to be better than this. And you go over there and you crouch down and you read the word, and it says H-E-R-E. Here. But then you go, whoa, it's too small. I can't get through that door. You decide, well, what have I got to lose? And you put a finger through the door. And it begins to expand. And you put a hand through the door. And it begins to expand. But you never walk through that door. Because what happens is that the whole room of struggle, that cloud bank, dissolves. And you're back in the meadow. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's why I love Evan Alexander's work so much with Proof of Heaven, and Anita Morjani's Dying to Be Me, two people that both had a near-death experience, and they came back and basically said the same thing. Love is the reality of all realities. The incomprehensibly wondrous truth that exists at the heart of everything that has ever been or ever will be. That's who we are. That's what the meadow is. We just got scared. So we've been trying to control life. So this afternoon, we're going to look at how do you begin to cultivate the most powerful healing tool you have ever been given. And that is the light of your own attention. That is the ability to be curious about what life is offering you in any given moment, rather than just try to imagine. I'm saying you don't, if you get sick, you do go to the doctor. But let's add curiosity to it. Let's begin to engage with what life is offering us. Let's let go of that victim mode that said life is happening to me, and shift it to life is happening for me. And I assure you, having lived in the kind of darkness for many, many years that I almost didn't survive, then life showed me how to turn towards rather than away, how to dispel my own clouds with the light of my own attentive heart. So I want to leave you with, and if you're not interested in buying the book, and if you're interested in the last chapter, to me it all comes together in the last chapter called The Song of the Heart. And I just invite you to come and sit on the room with me, because I have a couple of art chairs up there. I like to sit up there because it gives me a broader perspective. And I want you to look across and see this exquisite, beautiful blue-green jewel called our planet. Such creativity. And if you doubt that, look at Mars. Beautiful in its own right, but red and rock. And look down the moon, unique and beautiful, but, brown and dust, And here are, icebergs and waterfalls and so sacred. But I want you to see from our vision from the moon that most people walk around with clouds around their head. They cannot see the sacredness of everything. They have not learned how to trust their life, how to know God is, and all is well. And then look down. See there in the Pacific Northwest? Down there in Seattle, 8th of John? See this whole group of people that they're beginning to fit in their cloud bank, and then connect it with people that are meditating and doing yoga and on retreat, and connect that all over the planet. We are the healing of our planet. And as far as I can see, it happens one person at a time. When you learn how to turn towards and meet every single part of you in the vast and healing regions of your own